All right, welcome to The Explainer. You know how we do it here. We break down the big ideas. And today, we're diving into something really cool in the crypto world. It's a new way to get a loan, but here's the twist. It's not about what you own, it's about who you are.
So think about this for a second. Maybe you're an entrepreneur with a killer idea in, say, a developing country, or you're a freelancer just trying to scale your business. What's the biggest roadblock? It's almost always getting access to capital, right?
And that's the thing. In the traditional financial world, and honestly, even in most of crypto, you're just stuck. If you don't have assets to put up as collateral, you're pretty much out of luck. It's a huge barrier, and it hits the people who need the funding the most, the hardest.
So, what if there was another way? A way that's built on, trust. Let's dive into a protocol that's trying to do exactly that. The whole idea is to make your reputation your most valuable asset. Pretty cool, huh?
Okay, so first things first. Before we get into the solution, we really need to get a handle on the core problem here. And it's a problem that exists in both the old financial world and, surprisingly, the new one too.
Right. So on one hand, you've got traditional banks. They demand collateral, no surprise there. But what is kind of surprising is that most of the big DeFi platforms, think Aave, Compound, they do too. You actually have to deposit more crypto than you want to borrow. It's called overcollateralization, and it basically means if you don't already have money, you can't get money. It locks out so many people.
So that begs the question, right? Why isn't uncollateralized lending a bigger deal in crypto? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. Well, it all boils down to one simple but really powerful problem. How do you build trust in a world that's mostly anonymous? Yeah, and you see this talked about online all of the time. The history of crypto is, well, littered with examples of reputation systems that just ended in rug pulls. Without a legal system to go after bad actors, lenders are taking on this massive risk. What's to stop a borrower from just taking the money and vanishing? So the real challenge is, how do you make a lender feel safe without any traditional collateral? So how do you solve for trust when you don't have courts and contracts? Well, this is where the KIN protocol gets really clever. They've introduced a three-party system that completely changes the dynamic. Okay, so in this model, you've got your three key players. First, the borrower. They're the ones setting the terms for the loan they need. Then you have the lender, the person funding it. But here's the game changer, a third player called the voucher. And trust me, this voucher role, that's the secret sauce. All right, so let's dig into this voucher role because it's what makes everything tick. It completely changes the game by creating a totally new kind of guarantee on the blockchain. It's something we can call social collateral. So what exactly is vouch staking? Well, think of vouchers as community members who step up and put their own crypto on the line. They're basically acting as community co-signers, saying, hey, I trust this person. I believe they're going to pay this loan back. They are literally putting their money where their mouth is. But trust is one thing. The system needs teeth. There have to be real consequences, right? And this is where slashing comes in. If the borrower misses a payment or just completely defaults, the vouchers lose a piece of their staked tokens. That penalty, the slashing, is the automated hammer that protects the lender and makes this entire thing viable.
Okay, so now that we know the players and the rules, let's just walk through the whole life cycle of a loan. How does this actually work from start to finish?
So it all kicks off with a borrower creating a loan request and setting their terms. Then, vouchers actually compete to back that loan by staking their tokens. Once it's fully vouched for, lenders can step in and fund it with confidence because they know their principal is covered. And when the loan is paid back successfully, everybody wins. The lender gets their interest, the vouchers get their stake back plus a reward, and the borrower, they've just built up their on-chain reputation, making it easier to get the next loan.
But okay, what about the worst case scenario? What if the borrower just doesn't pay? Well, the system is totally designed for that. The smart contract automatically kicks in, slashes the voucher's staked funds, and sends them over to the lender. This is that decentralized enforcement we were talking about. It's the missing piece of the puzzle. So when you step back and look at the whole thing, you see what they're building. This entire system is designed to take something you can't really touch, your reputation, and turn it into a real, bankable asset. And to make this reputation real, borrowers can link up all sorts of on-chain stuff. Think Web3 credentials from Galaxy, optional ID verification from Civic, or even a decentralized identity score. All of this helps prove they're legit and builds a kind of decentralized credit score. And the best part? It's a permanent record of their trustworthiness that they own and control.
This is such a crucial step towards giving people real financial sovereignty.
And this is where it gets really powerful. A model like this can completely disconnect people from, say, a failing local bank or a manipulative national currency. It gives them direct access to a global, fluid, totally unstoppable crypto economy. An economy where what matters is your good name and the community that backs you, not which bank you happen to live next to.
And that really gets to the core philosophy here. In a system like Ken, trust isn't something that's just handed out. It has to be earned. It has to be proven. The whole thing is built to reward good behavior, creating this transparent history of trust that anyone can go and verify right on the blockchain. That's a powerful reason to keep a good reputation, isn't it?
So just think about what happens when your good name is suddenly worth more than a bank statement. By shifting the focus away from physical assets and onto social and digital reputation, protocols like this could literally unlock financial opportunities for millions of people around the globe. So the final question is, are we ready for a world where trust itself is programmable?